Hello, everybody. Welcome back. I am Coach Lilia. Today, I'll be talking to you about narcissistic mothers and daughters dynamics. Okay, so I'm going to be talking about those specific relationships, and I think this is going to be very beneficial for all the dads that are watching that are probably married to a narcissist or are divorced from a narcissist, and you're co-parenting, parallel parenting a daughter with this woman, and you don't know what kind of damage will happen and how to undo it. Another person that this is going to be very helpful for is women who are watching this who think that they were raised by narcissistic mothers. I understand that the damage is there. It's not the end of the world, but the first step is understanding what the hell you've gone through in your childhood. And that's that you were stripped of your sense of self. You were never allowed to have a sense of self. You were never allowed to experience emotions because that just wasn't something that was allowed by your mother. She wanted to create a mini me. So this is going to be very helpful for you as well. Those of you who are new to my channel, if you like this content, please go ahead and subscribe, like my video, and let's go ahead and dive into it. Narcissistic mothers and daughters dynamics. Okay, so here I am talking about not those women that create completely adverse childhood experiences for their kid, like, the mom that is so neglectful where she doesn't bathe her kid, she doesn't feed the kid, she doesn't do anything with the kid, just, where there's crazy violence in the house. I'm not talking about those cases. I'm talking about the super moms, the women that have children because that's what they're supposed to do, right? And they have the kid to just kind of show it off, right? Look at me, I'm a super mom, I'm a super wife, look at my family. We're talking about those women. And why do they have this kid, right? So it's like an investment for them. They invest their time, they invest their energy to create this little mini me for extra attention. This child is going to be their extension of self. Just like anything in a narcissist's life, like any supply, whether it's their partner, whether it's their friendships, anyone in their family, that's their extension of self, that's their property, their ownership. That's how they're going to view their kid. And in this case, we're talking specifically about daughters because the mother-daughter relationship is a little different than it is when a narcissistic mom raises a son. Okay, and as much as the dad can screw you up, the mom is the one that is in charge of giving you the sense of self. So this is going to be a really difficult upbringing. So think about it. This woman is going to invest 9 months of her life. She's going to sacrifice her body. She's going to do all these things to bring life into this world, right? So as a narcissist, she's going to expect full ownership of this child. She's going to view her as her property, and she's going to expect for her kid to be fully bonded to her and be fully obedient to her. It's all about control, understand that. And it's another way for her to get extra attention in this world. All about external validation. Now, do these mothers love their children? I would say yes, but we have to answer the question what love is first, because it's going to be that narcissistic transactional love. While you're obedient to me, while you do as I say, while you're a good supply to me, then I love you. But it's not the kind of love that a normal parent would have. That nurturing aspect is not going to be there. That empathy is not going to be there. The emotions are never going to be validated, and so on. It's interesting because this relationship with the baby, when the baby's first born, is actually going to be okay because the mom is going to get as much of that attention as she needs. She's going to dress up the baby, she's going to show it off, have photo shoots, all the fun stuff, right? To get all the attention. Look at what I just created, the little mini me. But you as the dad are probably going to be stuck with all the actual parenting, like changing the diapers, feeding the baby, actually playing with the baby, and so on. But understand that once the baby starts to develop a sense of identity, and the child already, has a say so when they want to do things on their own, when they want to pick the color, the clothes that they're wearing, when they don't want to finish the food on their plate, when they actually start developing friendships, that is when the mom is going to start having a real problem. Because she doesn't want for her daughter, again, we're talking about daughters here, she doesn't want for her daughter to have a sense of identity. She wants for her identity to be hers. It's the extension. So she's going to start being very controlling to a point where she's going to direct what friendships the child should have, what she should wear, making sure that everything in her life is controlled by her. Understand that a narcissistic mother is trying to raise a complete carbon copy of herself. And anything that doesn't fit that mold is a direct threat to her control. And that's not something a narcissist will handle. She will try to decide everything for the daughter. We're talking about anywhere from friendships to, courses that she's taking, to hobbies, extracurricular activities. Basically, if the kid wants to do one thing, if she wants to, I don't know, paint, and she wants her to be a cheerleader, nobody's going to listen to the girl say so. Okay, you as the father can really help out. Any mentor, any healthy mentor in this kid's life can help out, because the kid is not going to grow up with a sense of identity, because she's going to feel like nothing that I want matters. It's all about what the mother wants. Now, understand that this is going to be a very unhealthy dynamic where the mom's going to have no boundaries with the kid. And also, she's going to have very unrealistic expectations for her kid. So, this daughter is always going to receive criticism, very harsh criticism, because nobody can live up to the unrealistic expectations of a narcissist that they have in their head. One that I find quite humorous is that these mothers will actually want for their daughters to admire them, like not as a mother, but just as a person, admire them, praise them because she's doing so much for you, right? It's not like it's already something that's a given because you're raising me, right? No, she's gonna need that extra appraisal, extra admiration. She's always going to need to be reminded of how amazing of a mother she is. Now, also understand that this mother is going to play on the 3 manipulation tactics, just like all of them do. And we're talking guilt, shame, and fear. Okay, so it's going to sound something like, oh, that sport is too dangerous for you. You shouldn't do that. Or that friend is a bad influence. Or after all that I do for you, this is how you treat me. After all the time and effort I've invested into you, I gave you life. If you're a daughter of a narcissistic mother, I guarantee you've heard one of the 3 before. And if you're somebody that's raising your daughter with a narcissistic woman, you need to understand that all your kid really needs is one healthy mentor in her life to undo the damage, to validate her emotions, to tell her that no, what you said is correct and your mother doesn't make any sense right now, but that's because it's coming from a place of her, not from a place of you. It has nothing to do with you. Just so the daughter understands that there's nothing wrong with her, because these girls grow up with so much self-criticism, and then later they're so vulnerable to end up in a relationship with a narcissist or to be the narcissist themselves. I don't know which is worse. Now, understand that this will go one of the 2 ways for the girl. Okay, so one way is that you're going to have a very compliant woman grow up that's going to comply to everything the mother says. It's going to be like besties, a complete copy of the mother. The mother is going to have full control over this daughter. And this typically happens when there is no healthy mentor in their life, when there is nobody to undo the damage, to undo the gaslighting and manipulation. When the mother has full grip of her daughter and she simply complies with everything. And then what happens is that, you as a man end up married to these women where the mother is fully in your marriage, putting a wedge in your marriage all the time. And your wife or your girlfriend does not recognize it at all. I have so many of my clients where it's that these grown women that are still being manipulated and controlled, yet they see their mother as this complete authority figure. And they basically report to her and take care of her and do anything that the mother says. And the mother completely influences any decisions in their life. It's a really difficult dynamic. The second dynamic here, the second outcome here is you're going to have a rebellious girl that's going to grow up, okay? She's going to rebel. She's going to disagree with everything that the mother tells her to do. She's not going to comply. And she's going to receive a lot of criticism. She's going to have a very damaged self-esteem. She's always going to be questioning herself, because understand that this is going to be a woman that's going to grow up with no mother's love. And the mother is responsible for giving her that sense of identity. Now, growing up with a rebellious daughter, if you're the dad in the situation, right, the daughter is probably going to run to you for a lot of things, and you're going to have to undo a lot of damage. And what's going to happen to the narcissistic mother here is that she's going to view this girl as competition. Imagine how sick that sounds, but that's what's going to happen. She's going to view her as competition from a woman's perspective, because this is a girl that's competing for attention with her partner. And she's going to view her as competition with this jealousy simply from a parent's perspective, because she's going to see that her daughter has more of a relationship with the dad than with her, because there's just no closeness there, because there is no emotional intimacy, no capacity for closeness. So she's going to be jealous that the dad has a closer relationship with the daughter. And she's going to be jealous that the daughter is competing for the time and attention with the dad, with her partner. Let that sink in. So as I was saying, in both of these cases, the damage is going to be done, because both of these girls are going to go into the world with no sense of self. One is going to be attached at hip to the mom. The other one is going to be a rebel that's not going to really understand her sense of self and is going to have to figure it out. These women can a lot of the time become very powerful. They will fight to find their sense of identity. But understand that in both of these cases, these girls are used to nothing but chaos, right? They're used to, they don't know what mother's love is. They don't know it. So they are very likely to end up in relationships with men who are going to mistreat them, who are going to, create this trauma bond with them. Because when you grow up in chaos, that's the only thing that's familiar to you. And you don't know how to love yourself when you grow up that way. So you don't think that you deserve love. So you end up in relationships where you basically have a replica of what you had in your household. This is a very difficult situation, but I want you to understand that if this happened to you, or if this is currently happening to you, if you're the dad watching this and this is happening to your daughter, or if you're a woman who grew up with a narcissistic mother and you don't have self-love and you don't have self-confidence and you don't have self-worth and you went through a trail of narcissistic relationships, I want you to understand that understanding all of this is step one. Reflecting on all of this, accepting you for who you are, being proud of yourself for everything that you've overcome, and taking control, starting to self parent, going into the past and doing inner child work. If you need help going through this, please schedule with me. My scheduling link is in my bio. I do one on one coaching. I help people navigate these divorces, separations, parallel parenting, and of course, damage control when you're already a grown up looking back, understanding that your mother was a narcissist. So much love to you all. And remember that everything that happened to you is just a lesson. Okay, nothing happens for nothing. It was all a big lesson, and you're now on your healing journey. So, understanding is step one. And one day you can look back at this and understand that all of this happened for you, not to you. Okay, so much love to you all. See you in my next video.